Hi, welcome to Ken's Games Collection, and today I want to do a ranking of all the Sega Master System games that I own in my collection. So with the Sega Master System, this was the very first console I owned, and was probably one of the very first consoles that I would sell that system and all the games to go on to the Mega Drive. And over the course of the last couple of years, I've been rebuilding the collection. There's some games I kept from back in the day, but pretty much what you see here is being rebuilt from the ground up. There's some games in here that I never owned back in the day, but I was really interested in getting them, and also I got them in bundles, so I thought, okay. So with this tier rankings, this is the tiermakers.com, which is a really great ranking system. Now, I did a video about 5 months ago on, I ranked all the Tomb Raider games, and that got some great views on it. Also got a lot of comments on it, some good, some bad, about what games I thought were really crappy games, I guess you could say. Especially of Angel of Darkness. I didn't realize there's a lot of people out there in the Tomb Raider community that think it's a really great game. I don't. But with this, we're going to go through 5 tiers. Now, starting off with must-own games, amazing games, good games, average games, and why did I buy that crap? So, I got it all down here. I'm just amazed at how many games I collected over 2020. It's just incredible. But I'm not going to do this in any order. I'm just going to do it in random order. Let's start off with, okay, Alec Kid and High Tech World was one of my favorite games back in the day, and I can see why it was, because it had RPG elements to it. It's not going to be a game that is going to suit a lot of other people, and you know, but for personal preference, I think it was an amazing game. I really did. I think in Japan it was actually based on another game, and in the West they changed the name and it became an Alex Kidd game, but in Japan it was nothing to do with Alex Kidd as far as I remember. But I thought it was an amazing game, and it was something that I really put a lot of hours into playing, mapping out things and writing down clues, because it has that element to it. But it was a great game. Now let's move on to Double Dragon. I never owned this game back in the day, and playing it, it's not bad, but I have played better ones. I guess if I would have played it back then, I would have thought, oh, this is an incredible game. But for me, to me, it's an average game. I like it, but I've played better over the years. And even with the Master System, Streets of Rage is a lot better than Double Dragon, I feel. Let's go along to Bonanza Brothers. Now, Bonanza Brothers was a great game on the Mega Drive, and I gotta say, they did a damn good job of putting this on the Master System, so I will put it there. I picked that game up really cheap. I was so surprised to be able to pick up these Master System games with manuals. So that was a cool game. Now, another game I never played back in the day, and that was Batman Returns. And I gotta say, what I played of it, I haven't finished it, but I am loving it, and it's an amazing game. I love the Sunsoft version of Batman on the Mega Drive, and for this Master System, it's really cool. I really enjoyed it. I was really surprised about that. Now let's go on to the Ninja. Why did I buy this crap? Because it was in the bundle. I honestly played a bit of that. I think you need to play it in 2-player mode, but it's a damn hard game. It's so hard, and I think back in the day I wouldn't have liked it. That's why I never bought it back then, I guess. But it's just something that I don't really like. I didn't like it. Let's go into the Wonderboy. Now, this was the very first Wonderboy game that I played, and that was back in the arcade. With the arcade, you're always putting in the coins to try and progress in this game. You can never do it. And the same thing with the home console port on the Master System. And to me, it is an average game. I love the Wonderboy series, but as far as this one goes, to me it's an average game. I'd rather play the remake, which was Wonderboy Returns, which is a remake, it's a lot easier than what it was back in the day, and I think that's what it's all about. Now, Sonic the Hedgehog really surprised me when it came out in the Master System. It was a really good effort from Sega what they did with this one. There's not many enemies on screen. I played it at 50 hertz. So in America, Japan, the TVs are running at 60 hertz, so it's running a lot faster. And here in Australia and Europe, it runs slower, and the music is about, I don't know if it was 17% slower, but it was a good game. It was a pretty damn good game for what Sega did. It's so popular, the Sonic the Hedgehog games on the Master System. Now, Aladdin, movie tie-in games, here we go again. I don't mind it. I think it's a good game for what it's worth, but I think Batman was better. It's pretty much kind of similar to the port. It's not really a port of the one that was on the Mega Drive, but it was okay. I didn't mind it. And while we're going through movie ports, let's have a look at Indiana Jones. It's an average game. I really wanted to like this game. I played it. I've got it for, I guess, sentimental value because I was a huge fan of Indiana Jones series back in the day. But there were problems with it. This game would crash on you sometimes. The Indiana Jones character movement was very blocky as far as what I remember was really wasn't fluid for the Master System. I've seen a lot of other games on the Master System with a lot of better movement with the characters, but it was an average game. I played it, I finished it, but it was an average game. Now, one of my favorite games on the Master System was Alec Kidd in Shinobi World, and it's probably my favorite out of all the Alec Kidd series on the Master System. A great game. If you never played it, you never owned it, if you have a Master System and you're trying to build a collection, definitely try Alec Kidd in Shinobi World, because you know what? It's a must-own game. It is a fantastic game, and I'm so happy that I was able to rebuild this collection and get that game back. And I probably waited for a year till I found it at a good price, then I got it. It was so hard to do, but I was so happy to get that one back in the collection. Tasmania. I got this one just for pure nostalgia because I didn't mind it. I don't know how I would feel now, but because it was going cheap, I got it. And to be honest with you, it's probably an average game. Even the one on the Mega Drive was average, but it's something that I owned back in the day, and it was that's the reason why I got it. Now, another game that I never owned, I tried it, Action Fighter. Yeah, it's one of those ones. It just doesn't appeal to me. Why did I buy this crap? Because it was in a bundle. I'm going to do that again. And while we're at it, Thunderblade, I bought it in a bundle. I didn't mind it, so I'm going to put it as an average game. It wasn't too bad. Now, another game that I loved back in the arcade was Rastan. I put a lot of money into that game back in the day in the arcade. And you know what? It's a good game. It is. It had RPG elements, action as well. So it was a cool game. Alien Storm. Man, where should I put this one? The Mega Drive version was an arcade perfect port from what I remember. This was pretty cool. I'm going to put it as a good game. It was really cool that Sega was doing this sort of stuff, was taking, because this was by the time the Mega Drive had already come out, and we were seeing ports of some great games, Streets of Rage, Alien Storm, stuff like that, coming over to the Master System. So that was really cool of Sega doing that. Especially here in Europe and Australia, the market was big, way bigger than America. So, and a lot of people were still own Master Systems, and they were still selling pretty good. And in Brazil as well, they were fantastic. Now, Spellcaster. The sequel to Spellcaster on the Mega Drive is called Mystic Defender. And I love that game, but this one has action elements in it and RPG elements in it. And it isn't an easy game. It can be frustrating at times. So it's either going to be an amazing game or good. I think I'm going to put it as good because it is a bit frustrating at times. But still, it's a great game to try out. Now, Spidey Man. I played Spidey Man on the Mega Drive. I hated it. And this one is the definitive version of those two games. I love this game. It was one of my missions when I decided to recollect for the Master System to get this game back, and this game is still selling. I think I've seen it for like $29, which is a ridiculously reasonable price for what is a must-own game. It really is a must-own game, guys. Try it if you haven't. If you haven't, it's something that I really liked. Now, Alex Kidd and Lost Star. This is one of the weirdest games I ever played, and I'm not really into it compared to the other Alex Kidd stuff. So I'm going to put that as an average game. It just was weird, I felt. Castle of Illusion starring Mickey Mouse. That was a pretty amazing game for what it was worth. Totally different from what was on the Mega Drive. Again, I'm talking about stuff that we saw on the Mega Drive come over to the Master System or being released at the same time. It was a great game, really amazing for the Master System. And World of Illusions, I think it is, Land of Illusions. Again, it was fantastic. Stuff like that. Now we're going to go through another Disney one, and this one I've got to say, Lucky Dime Caper, starring Donald Duck. We had Quackshot on the Mega Drive, which is a phenomenal game, and why that game was not released on the Mega Drive Mini, it was just like, oh, what is Sega doing? But Lucky Dime Caper is still going reasonably cheap, like Spidey Man, and I gotta say, it's a must-own game. It is, if you're collecting. I keep talking about this. If you're collecting for the Master System, definitely get this one before it goes up in price. I don't know why it's still going so cheap. It's good, it is, but really, if you really need to pounce on that one, it's a fantastic game. Now, I was always into the RPGs, and to pick up Lord of the Sword for the Master System, it was part of a bundle, and you know, for what it was worth, it was a good game. It wasn't up to the level of some of the other RPGs I played. It wasn't so much a full-on RPG, so to speak. It was more of an action-adventure game, but it was a good game. Vigilante. I waited so long to play this game. I don't like the control system on it. To me, it's an average game. I really didn't like it. I got Castle of Illusion there twice. I don't know why that is. Strider. Strider was a really cool game on the Mega Drive. As far as the Master System version goes, I think it's a good game. It was good. I didn't mind it. Okay, Wonderboy 3: The Dragon's Trap, the first game I ever bought. Now, amazing game, must-own game. Must-own game. It really is. Again, I keep talking about this. Games that you need to get in your collection for Master System. Wonderboy 3: Dragon's Trap is probably the best game on the Master System. We went from the first two games into a full-on action-adventure game, which was amazing. Now, Renegade, another game that I heard so many good things about. To me, this is a good game. I didn't mind it. Fighting games on the Master System, the sprites are all flickery and stuff like that, but I do still feel like Streets of Rage is something that I really enjoyed on the Master System more than any of these other fighting games I played on the Master System. So Bonanza Brothers, another port, kind of like a port from the Mega Drive version of it. It's a damn fine game for the Master System. And Sonic 2, what can I say? Sonic 2 was an amazing game. Sonic 2 needs to go there, as it was an amazing game. They just got better and better as the series went along. And then we had Sonic, I think it was Sonic Chaos. So that one was an amazing game as well. Is it amazing, or should it be a must own game? This game is really high in price now, so I could put it up there as must own game. You know what? It is. It was probably the best of the three. They kept on gradually getting better and better and better, and that was a fantastic game. And Phantasy Star. Ooh, for me, it's a must-own game, but not everybody's into RPGs. If you're not into RPGs, then you would probably put it as an amazing game. But to me, it was one of the most amazing RPGs I ever played to this day. And finally, don't worry about Castle of Illusion. I don't know why it's there twice. Ninja Gaiden. I talked about this before, and it is definitely a must-own game. Wasn't released in America, released in Europe, Australia. Way better than what was on the NES for sure. And prices of Ninja Gaiden are just ridiculously high. Every time I go on eBay, I have a look at it, and prices just seem to be going up week to week. I think the highest price I've seen for Ninja Gaiden on eBay here locally in Australia is about $160. I picked this up relatively cheap because I did a trade-in with some stuff, and I picked it up for under $40, and no manual, but I really wanted to get this back in the collection, and I waited and waited and waited trying to get this game. And I go into a retro store here in Brisbane and get it at a great price on eBay. They're really, the market, that's the market, I guess. The market is just crazy at the moment with Master System games. But that's it. That's the games that I own. There's my rankings from Must Own. And why did I buy this crap again? Because they were part of bundles. So that is the games. Hopefully, over the next couple of years, I can continue rebuilding this collection. And I did do another video, which I'll leave a link up above maybe, or at the end of this, where I talk about the games that I'm trying to get back in the next 1 or 2 years. Hopefully, I don't know. It's really hard because of the prices of these things. But I'm happy with how I got this all looking. Yeah, some games down there. Wonderboy, might be surprised to see Wonderboy as an average game, but to me it was good. It was a quick fix, but it wasn't up to the standard of Wonderboy 3, The Dragon's Trap. Castle of Illusions was a great game too. Lucky Dime Caper, definitely get it while it's cheap. Spidey Man, get it while it's cheap. I like Kid in Shinobi World. It's still going cheap-ish. Prices will start going up on that one. I think if people see gameplay of it, actually play it, they realize just what a great game that is. So that's it. That's my rankings for my Sega Master System collection. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.